Hello and welcome to Self-Isolation Station. Today I'm coming to you from our very sunny garden, which we are very thankful for at this time. A couple of days ago, I shared about God's power being made perfect in our weakness. I wanted to unpack that a little bit more today. What does that actually look like in our lives for God's power to be made perfect in our weakness? Firstly, as I talked about the other day, it means accepting that we are weak and coming to God with and in our weakness. And then it means allowing God to move in our lives, allowing His Holy Spirit to move in our lives. One of my favourite verses is from Matthew 11:28-30, and I love the Message translation, which I'm just going to read to you now. Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? Come to me. This is Jesus speaking. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. What a beautiful invitation. And that is life by the Spirit. That is life walking in step with the Spirit. In Galatians 5, we are told about the fruits of the Spirit. A friend sent me a list of these fruits the other day in preparation for homeschool. And I agreed with her that absolutely today and many of these days, all of these days, we need the fruits of the Spirit in our lives now more than ever, perhaps as we are so closely surrounded by so few amount of people. Walking in step with the Spirit, life by the Spirit, produces these fruits. Abundant love, a joy that is not dependent on circumstances, an inexplicable peace that displaces fear and worry at the centre of our lives, patience when we thought we had run out, kindness or compassion, asking God to show us other people from His perspective and to show us how best we can be kind to them and love them as He does. A persistent goodness despite all the odds. Being faithful both to God and to others, even if those others are the same 5 others you've seen for the last 2 weeks. Gentleness. Gentleness, when it's in God's kingdom, is strength. Jesus was so powerfully gentle. He drew so many to Himself and to God's love by demonstrating the powerful gentleness of God. And I want to see more of that in my life, to know how to be powerfully gentle and to influence and others and change lives through God's gentle grace. And finally, self-control. Taking our emotions, our thought life, our words to God before we bring it to others. That's what the fruit of the Spirit, the fruits of the Spirit are. That's what life lived with the Holy Spirit can look like, walking the unforced rhythms of grace. These aren't a to-do list, a tick list, checking we've got them in their life. They come from the Spirit. We need to be allowing to God to move in our lives for these things to abound. So that is my prayer and challenge for us today. Are we allowing God to move in our lives? How can we see these fruits of the Spirit being manifested? It may feel like our circles have got very small, but the same power of God that raised Jesus from the dead is at work within us, whether we are in our homes, whether we are in hospitals, whether we are out caring for people. It's the same yesterday. It's the same as it was 2 weeks ago when life seemed so much more normal. It's the same today, and it will be the same forever. That power of God working in us, showing those fruits of the Spirit in our lives. We can still be powerful in God's love, whether it's just to our family, whether it's by making that phone call and sharing God's compassion down the phone, whether it's donating to a need, or whether we're still working and we can go about our works and allowing God's power to flow through us to the people that we meet. Emily Sunday has a song called Wonder, and she says, "This life is contagious. Go tell your neighbours, just reach out and pass it on." And I would say God's power, God's love is contagious. Go and tell your neighbours. Reach out, not physically, of course, and pass it on. His power is still at work in our lives. And I'm excited for this time to see how we can see God at work differently, but yet still powerfully in our lives. Bless you today.